Hey guys, and welcome to this edition of Scruf's Garage. Today's video, as always, is exciting. Except today's is a little bit different than I normally do. I'm not doing a product installation or repair today. You know how some people do those gender reveal surprises, whatever, when they get ready to have a kid or something? Sort of like that, except I don't have any diapers to change, and I don't have to pay for college tuition. But it's probably going to cost me a lot of money in the long run. So with that said, I'm introducing a new vehicle to Scruf's Garage. I was sad to see, but don't worry, the Corvette's still here. I was sad to see my 2010 F-150 go. You may have seen it in a couple of videos. I did some maintenance, transmission fluid, and some brakes and stuff like that. It was a great truck, but I decided to change things up. That's really what it came down to. So, just to give you a hint, it's a Jeep, and so introducing my brand new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. I'm very excited about the new Gladiator. It's something I had been lusting over for quite a while, especially when they first came out. But they were brand new, and Jeep dealers did not seem to want to make any deals on new Gladiators because everybody wanted them. However, after the coronavirus crashed the economy, turns out not many people were buying new vehicles. So suddenly, Jeep dealers are much more willing to make a deal. And so that's what finally got me off the sidelines and into a new Jeep. I won't go into all the details of what I paid for it. This is an Overland model, and it's fairly well optioned. You can see it's got the leather seats and the big 8.4 inch radio, so it's got some fun options there. But with all the discounts, the employee pricing, and all that sort of thing, it ended up being over $10,000 off a sticker. And I just finally decided, I don't know how good the lighting is here. We got some weird natural light. The truck is a little bit too long for me to get into the garage and close the door, which is going to make filming a challenge because I get a lot of outside noise from the air conditioning units, and the lighting is always weird. But they did the employee pricing and some rebates and that sort of thing, and so I just finally decided that if I was going to get one, this is probably as good of a deal as I was going to be able to get, at least within a few $100. So I finally decided to take the plunge. I got the hard top. And that sort of thing. So certainly this is a preview of what a lot of the content will be coming up. I've certainly got plans to do different mods. Probably a small lift in 35s, and some interior type stuff. Stuff to kind of make it mine. I don't plan to do any crazy heavy off-roading with it. This is my daily driver, so I can only have one vehicle that's broken at a time, and that's typically going to be the Corvette if I'm doing track days with that. I thought I might show you a few of the features of the Gladiator. Obviously, if you're in the market for one, you've probably read up and you know everything I'm getting ready to tell you, but maybe the average person just hasn't followed, maybe you're not a Jeep person and haven't been following the Jeep Gladiator. I was talking to one of my neighbors the other day, and they didn't realize, like, the hardtop comes off. Right, so you got the freedom panels, this panel and that panel come off, and it leaves just this rear section, or if you want to take the rear section off, there's just 6 bolts, and the whole thing comes off, which is kind of cool. It definitely stays to the Jeep roots. I don't know if that helps or not, but so the rear seats, 60-40 split. You can fold up the seat, or if you pull the little latch, it folds down. There's a lock feature here, so you can put items back here and then lock it, Once the seat is up, it stays in place. So if you did have the top off and say you're down at the beach or something and you wanted to lock some items that they can't get stolen, you can put them behind the seat and lock that up. And of course the other side does the same thing. There's the storage bin down here, and of course that seat folds down as well. If you get the Gladiator, it has a center armrest and a cup holder. The sport models don't have that. They also don't have, I don't know if the lighting's going to let you see it or not, there's a power inverter back here, so you can plug in like a small laptop or something, and then some USB ports. So if you have people riding in the back seat, they can charge their phone. Mine came with the proximity keyless entry. So just if you have the keys in your pocket and you touch the door handle, it unlocks everything. Also got the LED headlight package. I guess all the lights are LED, but that should make a nice difference at night. Of course, if you don't get that, there are several companies that you can get LED lights, headlights and that sort of thing, and add that afterwards. It just so happened that this one already had it, so I'm excited about that. Of course, when you start it, you get the little Jeep emblem. Then one of the neat things you can do, you can go into the app setting. So if you want to turn on the backup camera, let's see if you can see that. I don't know, there might be a glare on that, but the backup camera is crazy high definition, really neat. And there's also a hitch zoom, so you can zoom in on the trailer hitch if you're hooking up a trailer. Maybe that's a little better. You can also use the vehicle as a Wi-Fi hotspot if you pay for that feature. And then it's got some off-road pages. They take a few seconds to load, which is kind of annoying. But then it gives you some cool gauges. So you can see your coolant temp, your oil temp, your battery voltage, what your transmission's doing, the oil pressure if the engine was running. We'll also show you the pitch and roll. So if you're off-road, I don't know that it's really ever going to help you. By the time you're at a pitch or roll where the vehicle's in danger, it's probably too late. And then some more drivetrain type. And then some of the optional features you can get. So if you see down here, there's the auxiliary switch group. So you can wire these to, if you had some off-road lights or some rock lights or something like that, you can wire those in, and the switches are already kind of a factory installed feature. If you've got the heated seats, it comes with the heated steering wheel. That's part of the cold weather group. So that sort of thing is on here. Again, another optional feature, if it's something you want, there's the adaptive cruise control, so you can set that and adjust it. It also has the blind spot monitoring in the mirrors, so if there's a vehicle beside you and you don't see it, it lights up and it will beep at you and stuff like that. So this is the Overland. The Sport, if you don't get the leather package, this is typically gray, kind of plastic molded dash panel in the Sport or the Sport S, or in the Rubicon, it's typically the red. And then if you get the leather package, like what this one has, it gives you this leather trim on the dash, which is kind of nice looking. You know, it's a Jeep, but since it's my daily driver, I think that'd kind of be nice. So mine came with the factory spray-in bedliner, which is nice. You could certainly get that added aftermarket if you wanted, but it's like a $500 option, and you'll probably spend something similar getting it done afterwards. So I think that's a worthwhile option. This also has the bed lights, so you can see there And there they come on with the door when you open that. Then the tailgate is a slow, it's an assisted drop. You can also hook the cables around the latch here, and will hold the gate at kind of a 45-degree angle, and it puts it at the same height as the rear wheel wells. So then you could lay let's say you've got a 4x8 sheet of plywood that you want to carry home. Obviously it's only a 5-foot bed, but this adds an extension, so now the rear of the tailgate will support the end of the plywood, and you can carry some longer work pieces home if you want to do something like that. So really one of the best ways to describe the Gladiator, as I've been thinking about it, it's kind of a jack of all trades type of vehicle. And of course that expression, jack of all trades, master of none. And that's sort of true. You know, I'm coming from my 2010 F-150. It was a crew cab with the 6.5-foot bed. And there's some interesting comparisons. I've only driven the Gladiator, I don't know, I've got 100, 150 miles on it, but a couple of things stand out to me. You know, it is definitely a Wrangler. Even though it's longer and maybe it rides a little better than the new JL or the old JK, it still handles very much like a Wrangler. It is a Jeep in that sense. It is a soft off-roady type of suspension. And so even if you're coming from another truck like an F-150, you'll notice a difference in how it drives. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it drives like a Jeep. Now I'm a Jeep guy. I had an old CJ5. I had a Cherokee, like the XJ body style. So I love Jeeps, and so that doesn't bother me. But if you're in the market for a truck, in my opinion, you got to realize this is more like a Jeep and less like an F-150 in the way that it drives and handles. Still very comfortable in the highway. If you get the hard top, it cuts down to the noise, but it is louder than, say, my F-150. You know, that jack of all trades thing, so this is the 4-door, which is great. So if you're coming from a 2-door Wrangler, suddenly having a back seat with 4 doors, it's like this wonderful thing. If you compare it to the rear doors back seat of the F-150 in a Super Crew, it is smaller. Now, you could argue that the F-150 is almost too big in the back seat. Like 3 huge guys, construction workers, could sit in the back and, you know, stretch their legs out and not be able to touch the front seat. So this isn't that, but it is also isn't the back seat of like a Mustang, right? That's just not quite usable. So it's kind of this jack of all trades. It's this compromise. It has a truck bed, right? So that's awesome. But it's a 5-foot bed, not a 6.5 or an 8-foot bed that you maybe would get in a full-size truck. It's a compromise. You kind of got to decide what you want. What was really important to me is that it finally has a decent tow rating. If you look at just the Wrangler Unlimited, the 4-door, they have a 3,500 pound tow rating. For whatever reason, in some other countries it's a 4,500 pound, I think, but in the US, which is where I am, it's a 3,500 pound tow rating. And if I want to pull something that maybe has a race car on it or something like that, that just wasn't going to get it done. Now obviously my F-150 was the other extreme. It was a 9,000 or 10,000 pound tow rating. It could pull a lot more. This sort of sits in the middle. This is the Overland model. It has a 6,000 pound tow rating. Now if you get the Sport S with the max tow package, that's when you get what they advertise, the 7,650 pound tow rating, which is the max it can be. The Rubicons with an automatic are rated at 7,000. And then if you have a stick shift, they're rated at 4,500, I think it is. And that's mostly just because the clutch becomes the weak link. If you were towing with it every day, that's going to be a weak spot. But again, it's kind of this jack of all trades. So you get a decent tow rating, but it's still not comparable to an F-150, but it's way better than your typical Wrangler. So it's just kind of an interesting comparison. For me, it was the right combination. If you've seen some of my other videos, we sold our house and moved to a townhouse last summer. I sold off my car trailer, so I'm not towing the Corvette on an open car trailer. That was probably close to a 6,000 pound setup between the trailer and the car and track tools and stuff like that. I'm not towing that on a regular basis. So I no longer needed that additional capacity. And for most days when it's just me driving the truck, it was this huge truck driving one person back and forth to work. And while Jeeps aren't known for getting great fuel economy, the Gladiator is rated at 17 in the city and 22 on the highway. Coming from my F-150 with the 5.4 liter V8, just day in and day out, I was averaging 12 miles per gallon, whether it was on the highway running 80 or in town and bumper to bumper. It was just always 12 miles per gallon. So even if I can only average 18 with this, that's still a 50% improvement in fuel economy. So that's one of the ways I justified spending the money on it. But it's sort of this, again, this jack of all trades. It gets better fuel economy, doesn't get amazing. Now once the Eco Diesel comes out in the Gladiator, in my opinion, that's going to be the perfect vehicle, because it'll get the fuel economy, even though diesel is more expensive than, 87 or 89 octane. You'll get the power, you'll get the fuel economy, you'll pay for that up front in the purchase of the vehicle, but I think that'd be a great motor. I just wasn't willing to wait that long. We'll see what the future holds, but I'm pretty excited about this one, and like I said, it has all the right set of compromises for me to move away from the F-150 into a new vehicle. So from that perspective, I'm pretty excited. Okay, so that's it. This wasn't intended to be an in-depth review of the Gladiator. I just kind of wanted to introduce it to the channel since inevitably more content will be coming for Jeep Gladiator stuff. Still got the Corvette, I'll still be doing stuff on it. But in between will be stuff on the Gladiator. I'm always sharing whatever I'm working on. Hope you found this interesting, and if you like Jeeps and Gladiators and stuff like that, stick around. There'll be more stuff to come.